Good morning, Emily. So President Xi is using this occasion of the summit to present an alternative vision of a global system and global leadership to challenge the U.S.-led world order. President Xi proposed a global governance initiative where principles include multilateralism and sovereign countries being equal. The summit also agreed on an SCO development bank to deepen energy cooperation and where China has pledged loans. And Putin even proposed joint SCO bonds and also an alternative payment system for trade settlements, which likely won't happen, but it points to how the platform is used to present alternatives to the West. And for Russia, of course, they are concerned about Western sanctions, which they would be keen to use this platform to find ways around, even though it is more unlikely. But back to what Xi said, he made a tone-setting speech at the summit calling for multilateralism and opposing a hegemony. Let's take a listen.
和平发展合作共赢的时代潮流没有变。
The trend of the times towards peace, development, cooperation, and mutual benefit has not changed. However, shadows of the Cold War mentality and protectionism linger on. While new threats and challenges continue to increase, the world has entered a new period of turbulence and transformation, and global governance now stands at a crossroads.
So even though the U.S. wasn't mentioned by name, there are all these veiled references to it, with the summit talking about multilateral trading and adhering to WTO rules. But let's take a listen at what Foreign Minister Wang Yi said when he made a more pointed attack on Trump's trade war without naming the country. But let's take a listen.
In the face of a resurgence of unilateral bullying, the summit issued a statement firmly supporting the multilateral trading system with the World Trade Organization at its core. It called for the elimination of unilateral practices that violate WTO rules, sending a clear message of rejecting hegemony and upholding fairness, and voicing a shared commitment to maintaining an open world economy.
So sounds like Trump's trade war on many countries which are attending this SCO summit, including some observer states in Southeast Asia, has only pushed these countries to accelerate their efforts to diversify away from the U.S. and with each other, Emily.
Yeah, Elaine, as we had this gathering of over 24 countries, a push for the global south, even the suggestion of the creation of the SCO bank, I'm sure that the United States is watching all of this very closely.
That's right. And if anything, the summit has highlighted the stark contrast of how Putin is received between the West, where he has a pariah status, and with the East, in China at the summit, where all these world leaders did display close, warm ties with him, particularly Xi Jinping and India's Modi. We see the three of them showing this closeness at the summit, and that has attracted Scott Bessent's attention as well. The Treasury Secretary of the U.S. has downplayed the significance of this summit in Tianjin, saying that it is performative. And of course, we did see the spectacle too of Modi and Putin being in a car and also having bilateral talks and have to deepen their cooperation. And Bessent also accused India and China of being bad actors in Ukraine for fueling the Russian war machine. And he's likely referring to the fact that both India and China are top buyers of Russian oil, so sending that economic resource to Russia, but also, according to reports and analysis, China does ship components to Russia, and that can be used in drones and other tools in the war, although China does not explicitly provide military assistance to Russia. Now, Trump has also taken note, hitting out on India on Truth Social, calling the India-U.S. relationship a, quote, one-sided disaster in which India sells massive amounts of goods to the U.S., Trump said, and the U.S. selling very little to India. And now Trump has also claimed that India has offered to cut its tariffs on U.S. goods to zero. So we've got a lot of moving parts here, a lot of bilateral trade and discussions going in all directions. So we'll see how that continues to carry out as the U.S. watches this side of the world, this region, trying to move closer with each other and away from the U.S., Emily.
Elaine, we know that the presidents of India, Egypt, and Turkey are all heading home, but a few big names will be arriving into China today, and that's for the military parade that's taking place tomorrow.
That's right. North Korea's Kim Jong-un has departed Pyongyang yesterday and on a train to China, and he is understood to have crossed over into China as well on a train journey that could take 20 to 24 hours. So that will be one to watch. And also in attendance, of course, is Russian President Putin, and she earlier this year was in Russia attending Russia's own military parade, also marking the end of World War II. And Iran's president will also be there, and it's really a strong signal given Israel's attack on Iran back in June. But analysts say that this massive military parade will showcase to the world, or as Beijing's message here, to show how the PLA has modernized. And also similar to the summit, the symbolism here is that China is presenting a viable alternative to the U.S.-led order, and we talked about how the U.S. is looking at this, but a lot of this messaging is projected to the global south, to the developing world, where China is bolstering its influence here. We've also seen in the summit it's seeking to boost that economic influence within the region. So that will be a symbolism that we're expecting from the military parade as well, Emily.
Elaine, thank you very much. You're reporting from Tianjin, and we are going to be watching out for images from the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in his signature green train. As we know, he has crossed into China, and when that happens, a Chinese locomotive takes over to pull the train after it crosses the border, and that's because it knows the local rail system and signals better. Elaine Yu reporting from Tianjin, thank you very much.